All right, guys, I'm going to go over our practice problems. So there were 6 practice problems here that you were supposed to do. So I'm going to go over them with you right now. So it says determine the density of an apple if the volume is 81.3 and its mass is 78 grams. So again, density is equal to mass divided by volume. So it tells us that our mass right here is 78 grams, so that's going to go on top. So 78.0 grams is going to go on top, and then divided by our volume, and it tells us that volume right here is 81.3 centimeters cubed. So what I'm going to do here is just simply put that into my calculator. So the way that that gets typed in is I'm going to do 78 divided by 81.3, and my answer comes out to all of these decimals. And so the fewest number of numbers I have is 3, so I'm going to keep 3 in my answer. So my final answer that I'm going to write down is going to be 0.959, and that's grams divided by centimeters cubed. Okay, so I'm going to do my next one. It says we have a marble with a mass of 5.04 grams was dropped into a cylinder that contained 10 milliliters of water, which caused the water level to rise 10 milliliters. So what this means is we had a container that had water in it, and it was at 10 milliliters. And then after we put the marble in, it went up to 12 milliliters. So this difference in height between the two is going to be our volume of our marble. So 12 minus 10 gives us 2 milliliters for our marble. So we've got a volume, we now have a mass, so we're going to use our equation. Density is equal to mass over volume. So our density is going to equal our mass, which was 5.04 grams, divided by our volume, which was 10 milliliters. And I'm going to put that into my, it was 2 milliliters. Sorry, it's this difference. So 2 milliliters. I'm going to put that into my calculator. I'm going to type 5.04 grams divided by my 2 milliliters, and I'm going to get a final answer of 2.52, and that's going to be grams per milliliter. Good. Moving on to the next one. It says a Rubik's Cube are 5.7 centimeters. So all the sides in length are 5.7. So this is 5.7. The height is 5.7. And then the width is 5.7. So all the way around, because it's a cube. So to get the volume, I'm going to take my 5.7 and I'm going to raise it to the 3rd power. I'm going to cube it. Or I could have just gone volume is equal to 5.7 times 5.7 times 5.7. Okay, and these are going to give you the same answer. So when I go to do that, my volume is going to equal, so 5.7, and then I'm going to do cube, so raised to the 3rd. Okay, so my volume is 185.193, and then that was centimeters, and now it's going to be centimeters cubed because I had to cube it. So that's my volume, and then it told me that the mass was 84.6, and I'm sorry guys that I didn't do that in pink, but what we're going to do for our mass goes on top, 84.6 grams on top of our volume, which is 185.193 centimeters cubed. and then I'm just going to type that into my calculator. So I have my numbers right here, so I'm going to use a trick so I don't have to type that again, and I'm going to type 84.6 divided by, and then I'm going to go second answer, so it took that number from before. I'm going to hit enter, and I'm going to get my final answer. My density is 0, and I'm going to look, there's 2 numbers here, so I'm only going to keep 2 numbers of my answer. So I'm going to keep the 4 and then the 5, because there's a 6 next to it. I'm going to round it up to a 6, so I'm going to get 46, and then my units are going to be grams divided by centimeters cubed for my density. Okay. Now we're going to be onto these problems here. So it says, what is the density of wood if a 2.5 centimeter cube of wood has a mass of 21.25? So I'm going to take my numbers here, and I've got a mass, which is 21.25. So mass goes on top, 21.25 grams, mass always on top. And then it gave me a volume, which was 25.0 centimeters cubed. And so I'm going to put that into my calculator to get my density, so mass divided by volume. So 21.25 divided by 25, hit enter, and I get 0.85 for my density. And that's going to be grams per centimeter cubed. Okay, next one, it says the volume of a penny was measured by displacement, and it's said to be 0.35 centimeters cubed. What is the density of the penny if it weighs that many grams? So grams is mass, so that's my top number, 3.1 grams. It's going to go on top, divided by my volume, and so it says the penny was measured by displacement, so the volume is 0.35 centimeters cubed. And this time it told me what that change in volume was. So now just type that into a calculator, 3.1 divided by 0.35. I'm going to hit enter, and I'm going to get, for my final answer, 8.857, and so I've got 2 numbers there, so I'm only going to keep 2 numbers of my answer, so I'm going to put 8. And then because this 8 is next to a 5, I round that up to 9, so 8.9, and my units are going to be grams per centimeter cubed. Okay, and then finally it says a paperclip with a mass, so we have a mass of 0.98 grams was dropped into a graduated cylinder containing a volume of 8 milliliters. Okay, this caused the level to go up to 10. What is the density of the paperclip? So again, what we have is this graduated cylinder, a long tube. The volume was at 8, and it goes up to 10. Right? So our difference between these two values, 10 minus 8 is 2 milliliters. So we had a change in volume of 2 milliliters, which must mean that is the volume of our paperclip. So what I'm going to do for solving this is I know my grams is 0.98 grams divided by my volume, which was this change in volume down here, right? So 10 minus 8 told me that I had a change in volume of 2, so I'm going to divide that by 2, 0.0 milliliters. And then I'm going to put this into my calculator, 0.98 divided by 2, hit enter, and my final answer comes out to being 0.49, and that's grams per milliliter. And there's your answers. So hopefully you got all of these right.